Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Let us welcome to the 7th International Conference, Safety of Children and Youths in Internet. For 7 years, I've been chairing this conference, and I have to say that when 7 years ago we were preparing to the organization, we would never think that this conference would become such a large event and it will attract so many people. We were always keen that this conference is of interdisciplinary nature because as the Polish Center of Safer Internet program, we are involved in a wide activity, and 2000 we started educational campaign and some awareness-raising activities which are targeting various groups of Internet users. And we also have the institution which is dealing with illegal content. We have a helpline program as part of which children and parents can get some professional support in various disquieting situations which they can encounter in the Internet. What is fascinating is the fact that the topic that we are dealing with is having so many aspects to it, so it seems that we'll always have something to talk about. And every year, whenever we take on the preparation of the program, we have a long list of topics to deal with. However, we are never able to deal with every single one on our agenda. Over the recent years, we were focusing on educational programs for youths and children, and in our activity we are going to continue with this thread, and we also in more and more focus on an issue of the parents who are often compromising the safety of their children due to their wrong conduct, and we then ask to which degree the parents have the right to use the image of their children in such a controversial way, because it is very difficult to remove anything from Internet which was placed by parents. Another important topic is how the personal data is gathered by various online services, the data gathered from the youngest users. We know that there is nothing for free on the Internet, and in case of youths and children, the data is made available without understanding what are the long-term consequences. These are just some of the topics that we are going to raise over the next two days. This conference would not be possible without the cooperation of the wide range of international experts who are always happy to come to this conference, and we are very grateful for that. Every year we have more and more guests. We have 50, 60 speakers, half of which are from abroad. We would like to thank Orange Foundation for their long-term support, and our friends from ClickSafe Consortium, which is a co-organizer of this conference. We also have Google as a partner, and we are very pleased with their support. We would like to thank Barbara Kudrycka, the Minister of Science and Higher Education, Ministry of Administration and Digitization. They took this conference under the wing. We would like to welcome and recognize all the other participants, and we would like to thank all of you. We would like to thank that you are so open to the knowledge that we are going to share. I would like to wish you interesting sessions and a lot of inspirations. Well, it so happens that the weather is quite conducive to be on the conference. I will now ask Marcin Bochenek, who is Director of Strategic Projects from NASK, then Anna Rewczyńska, and the Deputy Chair of the conference, Peter Behrens, who is also the Deputy Chair and represents ClickSafe Consortium, and then Jadwiga Czartoryska, who is the president of Orange Foundation. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I will try to be brief. Well, the weather is conducive to conference, and we have many interesting papers. I hope that you will be all pleased with the 2 conference days. I'm deeply convinced that you will. Let me express my great happiness, just like Agnieszka said, that we have so many foreign guests, because this is a great value in this contemporary digital world, to be able to share ideas, thoughts, both positive and those which relate to threats, because the internet world is not constrained by country borders. It's a global world. I think that this 7th conference is guiding other initiatives, and let me also say that it is we have the cybersecurity month under the patronage of ENISA on the initiative of European Commission, and this is also a result of the initiatives that we have here in Poland for the seventh consecutive time. What seems to be very important today is that the threats that we see are accompanied by some opportunities resulting from internet. So I wouldn't like to create a situation where this meeting creates an impression that the internet is only about the threats, because it creates so many opportunities. But we have to remember that the technology can be used for good and bad purposes. We are focusing on the threats, but I would kindly ask you to remember about the good things. However, we focus on this disquieting aspects. There's always this question, based on all the experiences that we've been gathering and which were gathered by other organizations, what is the scale of threats? What is the scale of the danger that we are referring to? And we have a number of various data. They have been cited by one of the newspapers today, and these are NASK data. But we cannot give you the scale, because the scale starts with every single person. And I think that we should not think whether we have 10,000 or 50,000 victims, because every such situation is a problem. So being close to technology, I encourage you to think about every individual human being and every individual child, because we are going to focus on children and youths, because we are meeting in order to make sure that their future and presence is better. And that's directly connected to the digital world, which can be positive but can also be very negative. I very much invite you to take part in this conference. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, a parent and teacher today faces a number of challenges. One of those is how to use modern technologies which are so close to children, how to make this technology friendly to children, how to make sure that it is not the worst enemy at home or in school. How to make sure that it is not very dangerous for a child. Everyone who has been attending this conference for many years, had this overarching goal to find solutions to prevent these dangers and how to introduce technology safely to the life of young persons. A wonderful feature of this program is the fact that for many years we were able to diagnose the local situations, to see what is happening in Poland and to adjust the activities to the problems that we have in Poland. But we are also enjoying a lot of support by the international programs, and in practical terms we are getting a lot of educational experiences which have been and one of the examples is the presence of ClickSafe. Agnieszka Bochenek has already recognized this program. We also have Genesee Jameson, who will have the presentation right after the opening. She's coordinating our efforts and is supporting us, and we would like to recognize her role. Ladies and gentlemen, we are meeting for the 7th consecutive time, and irrespective how long we are going to spend on this problem, how many wonderful practitioners will deal with this issue of safety and security, we'll continue to have a lot of issues to deal with. We'll continue to meet many parents and children who cannot defend from such threats. And here I see a great role for all of you to use these 2 days to open the discussion about the safe internet in your environment. We had more than 3,500 people participating in this conference, so this is a great strength of having so many experts. Of course, we will have a very active time because the school year has started, and you will learn a lot about our activities. Our advisory teams and helpline teams will have a lot of work on their hands in order to provide everyday support for Internet users and to continue to fight dangerous content in the Internet. So I think that we will have a very active time. We also hope that thanks to the great support of European Commission, and we have Dr. Michał Busch, who is with us, and I would like to recognize him and thank him for his support. We hope that thanks to the support of the European Commission and the MEPs, such activities will continue to enjoy a high status and priority, and thanks to the financing and such projects, we'll be able to continue to carry out such activities. I would like to encourage you, by way of conclusion, to get involved, to ask a lot of questions, to be active, to make sure that tomorrow at the end of the conference we feel that we have a fresh inspiration and that we can feel that we have something more and we have strength and power to act. Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, one more important thing. For those of you who will be really active, we'll have some awards at the end of the conference, and we have this kind request that please stay with us up until the end of the conference, because the sessions that we'll have at the end of the conference are very, very interesting. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to congratulate on the 7th conference, and I hope it will be even more successful than the previous ones. I think that what is important, we've been cooperating with Nobody's Children's Foundation for 7 years. We are the partner of this conference, but Orange Foundation is carrying out many other educational projects. And what seems to me to be very important and valuable, and what is resulting from this cooperation, is the fact that It's like a stone which we throw into the water, and apart from the direct cooperation with the Nobody's Children Foundation, we have some other activities. And it seems that it is important because in this way we are promoting the awareness that Internet, on one hand, is a tool without which we cannot live or function. On the other hand, it should be wisely used. So our volunteers are, for example, attending schools and are showing to teachers and pupils how to wisely use the Internet. We created the whole cycle under a different program together with a press group, a whole series as part of which the pupils in schools were writing articles. They were dealing with safety and security issues because these are quite important aspects. If you don't think about something thoroughly, and if you don't do something, you will not integrate your knowledge. So we have a big variety of activities, and that provides us with many perspectives. We made some studies, and we published the results last Friday, and they are on the digital competencies among children and youths. The questions were not directly on safety and security in Internet, but I think that some of the elements from these studies testify to the right direction of our activities over the recent years. We have this notion of young persons and who are feeling in Internet at home. They have some skills how to use the Internet, but they don't have an in-depth understanding of how Internet works. For example, 20% of youths say that they are not verifying with anybody the contents that they found in Internet. And I think this is quite a shocking finding, 20%. Let me refer to other numbers which we have as a result of the study. Only 3% of parents give some advice to their children on how to use the Internet, and the group was young persons between 14 and 18 years old. The thing is that parents believe that they are less competent than their children when it comes to the Internet. And the last thing, more than 70% of young persons cannot imagine their life without Internet. So I think that a wise use of Internet and wise utilization of Internet for educational activities, and also warning about a number of threats, is a very important topic. So I would like to thank again for the invitation, and I wish you a very good conference.